Tony back again, Big Gigantos. Second Masters of the Universe original figure review of the day. We're going to be looking at now Man-at-Arms, or as he was called in the show by his close friends, Duncan. Don't know what his surname is, that was never alluded to, I don't think. Remember, I only talked mainly about the original 80s series. If you're a fan of the latest series that came along in the early 2000s, it gives a lot more background to some of these characters, but I'm not sure about Duncan here. Now, the first thing we notice is he's got this armour, left arm, left leg. Now, in the cartoon series, he has it on both sides, but the toy only has one. Now, the reason the show depicts him with two is because that he then looks symmetrical. A problem a lot of the cartoons had in the 80s were that they were made very cheaply. Okay, so they were limited to their budgets. So if they displayed Man-at-Arms with just one set of this armour on one side, that means they'd have to draw him facing the same way. You'll notice when you're watching the cartoon, a lot of the shots of the characters look exactly the same because it's the same animation cells. So if they've got him looking this way, they'll use the same cells over and over again. But if they wanted him looking that way, they just turn the cells, flip them the other side, and the armour would appear on the wrong side. I hope that makes some sense. So they had to give the characters some symmetrical, so they had to look the same on both sides. If that makes any sense, I hope I've explained that okay. So with characters like Too Bad and Trapjaw, they'd struggle with a little bit sometimes because they had one unique arm and one unique head, that kind of thing. So that was always the problem. So that's the reason for that. The figure is very good, very sturdy, built to last. Almost 30 years old, still in cracking condition. Usual thing with Man-at-Arms, he just comes with the one accessory, which is this mace or club, whatever you call it. He has the punch action, as do all of them, or most of them anyway. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to review the figures that have only that action first of all, and then I can get onto some of the more gimmicky figures a bit later on, just to make it a little bit more exciting. But a lot of these early ones, like him, He-Man, Teela, Skeletor, Merman, they didn't have any particular gimmicks apart from that. Alright, so that's how he came. That is him complete. So we'll just give the obligatory few close-up shots. So this is his close-up. You'll notice he's got a very stern frown going on and no moustache. Now in the show, they didn't want it to look like that. They wanted him to look more fatherly, figurely, if you will. So they gave him a moustache and took that frown away from him in the show. But the figure obviously has that very stern frown going on. Lots of mechanical details here on the chest, on his armour, and again indeed on the armour on his arm and on his leg. Usual thing going on with the legs. The rubber thing connects both the legs, held on together with a little clasp inside there. Punch action still works. Again, all this stuff does come off, but I don't like to keep taking it off. We did all that when we were kids. Not anymore. We leave the figures intact. Very good, usual muscular sculpt on him like that. Like I say, really, your very basic figure. Not a lot else to him, but I love the helmet detail. Very good, that blue and orange together. Remember, he was the Palace of Eternia sort of technician, if you like. He was in charge of putting together all the tanks and the armoury. That's why he's called Man-at-Arms, because he's responsible for keeping the palace armed. A little bit about his character. As I said in my Teela review, he is the stepfather. Sorry, not the stepfather, the adoptive father of Teela. But the sorceress had Teela as a daughter, was discovered that her fate was to be the sorceress of Grayskull, and she couldn't look after Teela, so she approached Man-at-Arms and said, "Will you raise my daughter for me?" which he duly did. So Man-at-Arms was the adoptive father of Teela. That's just a little bit about his character. Obviously most people call him Duncan, but he is to the bad guys and everyone else known as Man-at-Arms. So I'm going to leave that there, guys. That's my Man-at-Arms review done. I'll be back in a few minutes with another. Thanks for watching. See you in a minute.